Hi everyone, thanks so much for joining me. In this video we're going to cover Happy Baby Pose. It is a fabulous pose for the hips, it's a great stretch for the inner thighs, and it's a real opportunity to lengthen the spine. It's also a position that a lot of people feel, at least early on in yoga, really self-conscious in because well, you'll see. If you don't know the pose yet, you'll see why. So you might find it handy to have a strap and even maybe a blanket, and I'll demonstrate all those things as to why those might be helpful. But I want to show you Happy Baby first, flipped around. So we'll end up on our back in a moment, but I want to show you what we're doing in Happy Baby. So Happy Baby is this fairly wide squat. Okay, my legs are just out to the sides here, but the feet are not turned out. So I don't know if you can kind of see this, but I'm in this position and I'm trying to restrict the knees, the feet from going out to the sides, okay? So I'm going to turn this way though so you can see. So in the end we're going to be on our back, with the spine really lengthened, taking hold of the feet in some way. And I usually take hold, okay, my arms are on the inner edges of the legs and I'm taking hold of the outer edges of the feet. Okay, I still want to keep the head of my arm bones in the shoulder joints, lengthen the spine, and there's still this energy of coming upward, okay, energy coming up and in toward the midline to get that length in the spine. A lot of the time, what this ends up looking like is a rounded spine, head like this, okay, because people are struggling to take hold of the feet. What also happens is that the knees turn out, the feet don't, like things just don't quite match up. So we're always looking for those center lines to match up. So the center of the ankles to line up with the center of the knees, center of the hips. So we have those open channels. We need the joints to feel secure and spacious all at the same time. So we need that organization of the bones, the appropriate effort in the muscles to keep the channels open. So, if when you lay down, okay, and you're challenged, okay, I see this a lot in students, especially ones with tight shoulders, when they're taking hold, okay, their head is like this, okay, so even after using a strap around your feet, if your head is still like this, then you want to have some support because that is just not going to be comfortable, and you can find the right height that works for your body, okay, so blanket I think is pretty comfortable for that. Again, if taking hold, if the feet feel really far away, okay, then you just position a strap, all right? So, but still thinking about this position flipped around, okay? So I'm looking for length in the spine. I'm going to be taking hold of my feet in a second, but I just want to give you a sense because all sorts of things are going to happen. As when the feet are on the floor, okay, we're able to root across the feet evenly. When we flip around and the feet are up, we tend to go just off kilter with the feet, and we don't root across the feet evenly, and that interrupts the lines of energy. Okay, so you want to look at your feet and make sure you could balance something, okay, across the balls of the feet, across the heels. So I'm going to take hold in a consistent way as I did when I was the other way, the other direction. So I'm going to bring my arms on the inner thighs and wrap my hands around the outer edges of my feet. And for me, what this does, it gives me reference so I can give myself counter resistance, arms and legs. So I'm trying to keep it's not too challenging for me to keep my thigh bones in my hip joints. What tends to be more challenging is to keep the arm bones in the shoulder joints. Okay, so I want to do both of those simultaneously. Counter resistance of the inner thighs, lengthening the spine. So I'm pretending I'm stamping my feet up on the ceiling and I'm getting resistance back. Okay, so counter resistance from up and down, counter resistance from side to side, breathing, lengthening. So I'm just seeking more and more space in the hips, lengthen the spine, making sure my neck and shoulders feel a-okay. Okay, so this is Happy Baby, and you're going to find your right position. Sometimes from this you could transition to a straddle. Okay, you could take it wider, keep it narrow. Okay, again, and you could still do that with a strap. You just want to make sure you're just always seeking these center lines, of the joints to stay as open as possible. A lot of the time when I'm teaching, we'll go from happy baby, okay? And because as you practice this, you might feel that this tendency to turn out the legs. Nothing about that is dangerous as long as everything matches up. But because that's the tendency in the pose, I'm really trying to explore the opening in the hips, okay, in a direction that's a little bit more neutral with the joints, and because I already have plenty of openness in this direction. So you can kind of work with, what direction makes the most sense for you, that you feel you're getting the best, okay, best stretch in the position, and that you're keeping the consistent lines, okay? So anyway, so from here, I typically go into a supine bound angle pose. So I'm bringing my feet together, knees out to the side. And that just always feels like a nice transition, okay? And then I bring the knees in toward the chest, and you can massage the spine, and then in your way, come up to a seated position and just check in with how you feel, okay? So I think it's really helpful to flip our positions. If we question how they look if we change our relationship with gravity, okay? So I hope that image of doing it as a standing squat, okay, and then flipped onto the back helps you find some consistency in the alignment. Okay, so we're looking for that sense of openness. This would be a totally different squat with the legs turned out. A good one, okay, but not necessarily what we're working on in Happy Baby, okay? Trying to have that opening with a little bit more containment, okay? So I hope that this is helpful and that I'd love to hear from you. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.